Hey everyone, this is Archangel Alts. Thank you so much for joining. And we're going to go take a look at some exciting things that are going on in the marketplace. So there is a Bitcoin rally taking place. And I was actually going to do just a very quick video on this when I saw Bitcoin break 3,500. This was very significant. And zoomed in, you can see how significant. 3,460 has been kind of a new average for Bitcoin, and yesterday it was going down. It broke beyond 3,400 and went into the high 3,300s. So it looked like it was a continuation of the trend that I'll discuss more detail elsewhere, but that I attribute primarily to the shorting that's going on with the introduction of more stable coins. People do not seem to understand the effect that they have on the market, but even more so directly, we know for a fact that it was a result of the hard fork with Bitcoin Cash. Very few people seem to understand the impact that that has had as well, and they think it's a passing thing. Nope, it's a new normal permanent effect on the market. So we will see if the market has the strength to double, triple, quadruple, and maintain room for the Ethereum fork and the Bitcoin Cash fork, which is even more influential. So anyway, back to this. This is a good sign that it's not just continuing to pull down from yesterday's trend. In fact, it seems like around 3,400 proved for somebody with a whole lot of Bitcoin to do a bounce back. So we continued above the 3,500. And something that you'll come to understand a lot is that so much of the movement in the process of the market is a psychological thing. Yes, there's lots of bots. Yes, there's lots of people with tons and tons of money that we call whales that are influencing the market all the time. But all of us respond to the direction that's going. And when somebody sees something like this happening, lots of smaller players come and say, "Ooh, I want to take a part of this. I think that must be a bottom. Maybe Bitcoin's going up." In this case, if you had $3,400, you would be up by 200 right now. And that's a rare thing and a very good thing. So here we are, and that's obviously entering the market with Bitcoin as opposed to you've been in here and you're trading with it or against it. So now in comparison, here's where that 3,500 is now, and we can see that it just continued. It kept going, kept going, kept going. We're now at Eastern time. It's 12:40, and this is right around noon. So this was pretty steady. It could just be a pump. I don't expect it to hold up here. So, in the back of your mind, be prepared for this to gradually make its way back down to 3,500-ish. This could just be the start, and if there's a second or a third wave coming, the longer that this goes, the more keep it in the back of your mind that at any second, just like this, it only takes a few minutes for the sell-off to happen. But this is a really good sign that Bitcoin has enough people interested in doing what they're doing, that they see the benefit in this rally that's going on. It's a really, really good thing. Also, yesterday we had hit as low as in the 60 million 24-hour volume. It's only take this little amount of time to double the volume. In today's market, about 250 million 24-hour volume in USDT for Bitcoin on Binance is a healthy thing. What we really want to see the market get back to the 500 and 600 million 24-hour volume BTC USDT. Yeah, so another thing that we'll look at the fact that this has a positive and an adverse effect on other coins. Some will trend with this, but usually it takes a very slow and steady change in Bitcoin for things to remain in sync with it. If it moves quickly, things usually start to drop in the opposite direction. Part of that is just the actual math behind the process, and part of it is the fear, uncertainty, doubt, FUD, FUD, and FOMO, fear of missing out. A lot of this is just psychological. People jump in, they buy high, sell low, thinking that they're doing the opposite, and we'll go into that too. So a lot of times they'll dump out of a really good position in another coin to take advantage of this, and then by the time they're here, it's already at the top, and they miss out what they were intending to do. Steam is a really good example. It's an interesting project. going to spend a lot of time talking about Steam unless they do themselves in, which is always possible. They've already laid off 70% of their team. Not the best situation, right? But we've got positions that are coming up in the 800s, and then I'll show you our kind of sadder, longer wait that we have from when Steam was over here in the 12,000 range. But Steam was starting its ascension actually before Bitcoin did its thing, and then Bitcoin pulled it down. Actually, sorry, this is over here. It was making its way from the, you know what? We're not quite. There we are. Okay. Yeah. Steam was making its way upwards on its own, and it was gaining traction. It had made it up to 873. Really happy about that. Then, boom, Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin going up, we see an exact negative correlation. And now that Bitcoin is flattening out, Steam is continuing to do what it was doing before, and it's probably going to steadily make its way up unless Bitcoin goes up again just as fast as it did this time. If Bitcoin keeps doing what it's doing and it actually makes it to the fours, you're going to see people talking about today being a record day. That remains to be seen. Waves, another really good example. It started making its own progress over here, and then it had a weak moment and it was starting to come up over here, and then Bitcoin. And this is the huge rush on Bitcoin. So adverse effect because things lose their sync. Something like XPG that there's a lot of talk about is usually healthy around 175 and higher. And you can see this is Bitcoin pulling it down. So let's look at some of the highest winners here. Now, ARC, not sure. Yep. Okay, that's just being in sync with Bitcoin. Litecoin, I bet it is. Yep, in sync with Bitcoin. Interestingly, ADX is. This was probably being pumped. Yep. Let's see. We can see that time was right on the nose. So that was a pump that was not sync with Bitcoin. That's definitely in sync with Bitcoin EOS. BNT, Bancor, very, very, very interesting project, usually sitting at just about the absolute bottom as far as volume. Actually, you know, it's usually as low as like, you know, 10, 15 BTC, 24-hour volume. So the fact that it's at 142 is very interesting. That's either just a group pumping it or somebody's taking a particular interest in its project. Ethereum, you can see it's moving with Bitcoin. In fact, it is having a really good day. Sadly, Ethereum is showing strength when it's around 7,000 BTC 24-hour volume. And we did actually already clear some positions as a result of this before the Bitcoin thing happened, and Bitcoin helped those positions to finish their thing and finish a little stronger. So this is an extreme reaction, CVC. It definitely went up with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin coming down just a little bit, and this came all the way back down. In fact, it's almost before. Yeah, it came down lower than it even started when it was going BTC up. So it's very, very, very interesting. And part of a strategy, any successful strategy, any winning strategy, looks like Nano is up 100 from where it was. Yep, that's nice. Kind of get used to seeing these numbers as you go further and further into this. So yeah, the point being that you're going to learn how to kind of sync yourself to what's happening with BTC compared to all of the other coins. And that's one of the things we're going to do better than our competition. Hopefully this whole idea will become something that even more people adopt. I don't mind our being an industry leader and influencing others' way that they trade. And they will certainly come and teach you to trade the same way because it works. And nobody's really showing other people how to do that right now. Really exciting times. And that's our market watch for right now. Keep your eye on Bitcoin today, Friday, February 8th, 2019. And Thank you guys, and we'll be updating you soon.